Pope Francis thanked the Polish people this morning for their generosity in welcoming Ukrainian refugees. During his weekly meeting with pilgrims, the Holy Father expressed his gratitude to Poland, saying, "You are generously offering everything refugees need to live in dignity despite the drama of the moment." EWTN News Rome Correspondent Colm Flynn joins us now from Poland. Colm, great to see you. I want to talk about what the Pope said this morning, but first, could you talk to us about the situation at the border and what you have seen during these days in Poland?
Well, a very good evening, Tracy, from the Ukrainian border in the southeast of Poland. I'm here in an area called Medica, where tens of thousands of refugees from Ukraine have been crossing the border in a steady stream behind me all day into Poland. And the situation here is just incredible. The Polish government has announced that since the crisis began, they think that over 500,000 refugees, Ukrainian refugees, have now entered Poland. Now, we'll speak about Pope Francis's comments today in just a moment, but something that the Pope did say is that the outpouring of support from the Polish people has just been incredible for these, many of them families, many women and children who have been crossing the border and not knowing what is coming next in their lives or what kind of Ukraine they'll be returning home to. We've been going to some of the neighbouring towns and villages across the border for the entire day, speaking with those refugees. And again, like I said, many women and children who told me that their husbands, their brothers, the men in the family have remained in Ukraine to protect their homes and to fight the Russian government. But the Polish people here, as I speak to you, there are cars all around me of local people, local Polish people who are coming to collect the refugees who they do not know, to bring them wherever they need to go. So the ones we were talking to today said that they were bringing them to train stations, bus stations. One man picked up a family and he was ready to drive them 7 hours to another Polish city. Just to my right, Tracy, there's a grocery store here where they are bringing in the refugees, allowing them to sleep in sleeping bags on the floor. They've been giving food and supplies and SIM cards. Caritas, the Catholic charity as well, coordinating much of this massive humanitarian outreach.
So wonderful to see all those signs of hope in Poland. Can we go back again to what the Pope said this morning?
He made a statement saying that they were an example to the world because not only were they opening their borders, but they were opening their hearts to these refugees.
Yeah, and Colm, I know that Pope Francis called for a day of prayer and fasting for Ukraine today. Can you talk to us more about that?
That's right, Tracy. This was something that the Pope called for initially last Wednesday, less than 24 hours after this crisis began. And he reminded people that it was coming up at the Sunday Angelus. And it was today, March the 2nd, Ash Wednesday. He wants it to be the International Day of Prayer for Peace in Ukraine. He also wants it to be a day of fasting for Ukraine. Now, this immediately was welcomed across the world, particularly with Ukrainians, with Polish, and with leaders of other religions who have echoed Pope Francis's sentiment and asked the world to pray for the plight of the people. Again, the people that we met today trying to put on a brave face. It's hard to get across to you, Tracy, just what they were like. We saw children clutching their teddy bears, their toys, their pets, little dogs and cats who were frightened in the hustle and bustle of the huge crowds in the train stations. A lot of confusion in the air as well. But we also saw a lot of parents putting on brave faces in front of their children.
Well, Colm, thank you so much for your report, and please stay safe.
Thank you so much, Tracy.